Hello friends, welcome back in my another lecture in sampling. Today I'm going to talk about maximum likelihood estimator, right? So let's start. Consider a random sample of size n, in this way x1, x2, xn. This is taken from a population whose density function is this one. X is a random variable and theta is a unknown parameter. Then the likelihood function for this sample values x1, x2, xn, this will be denoted either by L or by L theta, and is also called as joint density function. Joint density function, reason being because there will be more than one variable in this density function, right? And is given as L or L theta. This is product of this kind of density function, f of x1 theta into f of x2 theta dash 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 dot f of xn theta. If we multiply all of these in compact form, this can be written as f of xi theta, and in this product I is varying from 1 to n. Alright, if you open this product, you will get a product of these density function, right? That is, for a given sample, x1, x2 dash dash xn of size n, L becomes a function of a variable theta, where theta is a unknown population parameter. Now, principle of maximum likelihood says that we have to find estimator for this unknown population parameter theta. Let us suppose theta is in this way, which will maximize the likelihood function, which will maximize L for variation in parameter. जैसे जैसे ये unknown population parameter theta vary करेगा, right? That is, we wish to find, हमको एक थीटा कैप फाइंड करना पड़ेगा, एंड लेट अस सपोज दिस इज इन दिस फॉर्म, थीटा 1 कैप, थीटा 2 कैप एंड डैश डैश थीटा के कैप, such that Laplace of theta cap is greater than Laplace of theta for all theta, and we can also say that Laplace of theta cap is supremum of Laplace of theta for all theta. Laplace of theta cap is greater than likelihood function means this Laplace of theta cap is a supremum, means maximum value of this likelihood function, right? Now question rises, from where this theta cap is coming. Later on you will come to know that from how it is coming here, the theta cap, right? This implies, if there exists a function theta cap, and this is actually function of x1, x2, xn of the sample values, means if there exists a function theta cap which is function of sample values for a random sample of size n, right, which maximize L for variation in unknown population parameter theta, then theta को हम क्या बोलेंगे, देन थीटा इज कॉल्ड एज मैक्सिमम लाइक्लीहुड एस्टिमेटर फॉर थीटा, तो हम थीटा को बोलेंगे मैक्सिमम लाइक्लीहुड एस्टिमेटर, राइट? therefore theta cap is the solution if any, अगर मान लो सॉल्यूशन होगा, एग्जिस्ट करेगा, ऑफ partial derivative of L with respect to theta is equal to 0, and second order partial derivative of L with respect to theta square will be negative. All right, let us put this is question number 1. So this is clear from here. You can see here theta cap अगर ये हमारे पास एग्जिस्ट करेगा, दिस विल बी सॉल्यूशन ऑफ दिस डिफरेंशियल इक्वेशन, पार्शियल डिफरेंशियल इक्वेशन. दिस इज पार्शियल डेरिवेटिव ऑफ L with respect to theta. Means once you find likelihood function, there are n plus 1 variables, n are x1, x2, xn, and one more variable that is theta. So and further you differentiate it partially with respect to theta, it means x1, x2, xn will be constant, and on solving this equation we will get a solution, and we will denote that solution by theta cap. And second order, if we find second order partial derivative of this will be negative. All right, so that's why this theta cap is solution of this question. Note number 1, since log L likelihood function is clearly greater than 0 positive, and log L is a non-decreasing function, right? ये increasing function है. So L and log L, these attain their maximum value at the same value of theta cap. L और log L की minimum value भी थीटा कैप पर ही होगी, राइट? थीटा कैप पर ही दोनों की वैल्यू मैक्सिमम होगी और थीटा कैप पर दोनों की वैल्यू मिनिमम होगी, राइट? दिस implies first equation of equation 1 can be written as, first question of equation 1 is this. There are two questions. First question with this one. This question can be written as 1 upon L partial derivative of L with respect to theta is equal to 0, because reason being L is positive, so 1 upon L is also positive. If you multiply this question by positive number, there will be no change. This question is still this one. This further can be written as partial derivative with respect to theta of log L. So further this question can be written in this way. If you simplify, if you do the partial derivative of this, log L derivative is 1 upon L, then derivative of L, chain rule, and this one simplification we will get this one. So this question, these are exactly similar, right? Note number B, if theta is vector valued, अभी तक तो हमारे पास जो theta था, this is simple ordinary unknown population parameter, right? If theta is a vector valued, means theta cap, then theta cap means this one, this will be solution of the simultaneous equation. वो कौन सी इक्वेशन होगी? That will be partial derivative of log L with respect to theta I, and which is equal to partial derivative with respect to theta I of log L, and L is a function of theta 1, theta 2, theta k. L is function of this, and this is derivative of this, and this will be equal to 0 for I is equal to 1, 2 up to k. Let us put this is equation number 3. So theta cap will be either solution of this question, or theta cap can also be solution of this question. It depends on whether theta is a simple or a vector valued function, right? Therefore the equations 2 and 3 are usually called as likelihood equations for estimating the parameter. So this is note 2, right? Now come to the note 3. This is note 3. For theta cap, for the solution theta cap of the likelihood equation means either 2 or 3. We have to see that the second derivative of L with respect to theta is negative, right? This is clear from second question. Second question of first question is this one. Second question of first question. This is a negative. This is clear from this question. Means theta cap is सॉल्यूशन होगा लाइक्लीहुड इक्वेशन का फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन का इफ सेकंड ऑर्डर पार्शियल डेरिवेटिव ऑफ एल विद रिस्पेक्ट टू थीटा इज नेगेटिव इफ थीटा इज वेक्टर वैल्यूड अगर थीटा वेक्टर वैल्यूड हो थीटा इज वेक्टर वैल्यूड देन फॉर एल टू बी then for L to be maximum the matrix of derivative second order partial derivative with respect to theta I theta j of log L at theta is equal to theta cap should be negative definite. So what does this mean? Theta cap will be solution of first question provided this derivative is negative. If theta is vector valued, then theta cap will be solution of a third question that we have written just before. Third question, when matrix of this derivative will be negative definite. Now what will be size of this matrix? It all depend on what is the maximum, what is the range of I and j. If and I and j varying from 1 to 3, then we will get a matrix of this derivative 3 by 3 matrix of 3 by 3 order, right? If I and j vary from 1 to up to 3, then further we have to find solution of this characteristic equation. This one, there will be 3 roots, 3 eigenvalues, and all the eigenvalues must be negative. That means this matrix of derivative will be negative definite. So matrix is negative definite provided all of its eigenvalues are negative. Means if you solve this characteristic equation where I is identity matrix of size that of this matrix, right? If this matrix of 3 by 3, we will get 3 eigenvalues. If this matrix of 2 by 2, we will get 2 eigenvalues accordingly, and all eigenvalue must be negative. In that case the matrix will be negative definite. All right, assumption number 1, first and second order derivative with that is partial derivative of log L with respect to theta and second order partial derivative of log L with respect to theta square exist and are continuous function of theta in a range R is a real number including the true value theta naught of the parameter, including the true value theta naught of the parameter for almost all x. Also for every theta in R, modulus of first derivative with respect to theta, it must be less than f1x, means this must be upper bounded by this function, and modulus of second order derivative of log L with respect to theta square, this must also upper bounded by this function f2x, right? Where f1x f2x are integrable functions. ये दोनों फंक्शन इंटीग्रेट हो जाना चाहिए. These must be integrable functions over real number, means minus infinity to infinity, right? These must be integrable functions. Now come to assumption 2. Second assumption is the third order derivative that is of log L with respect to theta exist such that modulus of third order derivative of this log L with respect to theta, this must be upper bounded by function m, where expected value of this function m must be less than this a positive number, where k is a positive quantity, right? So first order derivative of log L with respect to theta, first and second order log L with respect to theta and theta square, this must be continuous function of theta, and these must be both upper bounded by some function. And third order derivative, this must also be upper bounded by some function and some function m whose expected value is less than a positive quantity. Now come to assumption 3. For every theta in R, expected value of negative of partial derivative of log L second order derivative with respect to theta, this must be equal to minus infinity to infinity minus second order partial derivative of with respect to theta into L with respect to x, this must be integral in term of theta, and which is finite. if ये इंटीग्रल फाइनाइट आना चाहिए एंड नॉन जीरो, ये फाइनाइट भी होना चाहिए और नॉन जीरो, मीन्स एक्सपेक्टेड वैल्यू ऑफ दिस must be integral of this one, where L is a likelihood function, and because this is integration with respect to x is varying from minus infinity to infinity. On solving this integral is actually in term of theta, right? Note number 4, assumption 4, a range of the integration is independent of theta, means this range of integration is independent of theta. What if range of integration depends on theta? अगर ये थीटा पर डिपेंड करेगी, then डेंसिटी फंक्शन f of x थीटा vanishes, जीरो हो जाएगा, डेंसिटी फंक्शन vanishes, राइट, एट द एक्सट्रीम वैल्यूज, मैक्सिमम वैल्यू पर ये वैनिश हो जाएगा, एक्सट्रीम वैल्यूज डिपेंडिंग ऑन थीटा. अगर डेंसिटी फंक्शन वैनिश करेगा तो हमारे पास एल भी क्या करेगा, वैनिश करेगा, बट कि हमारे पास अजम्पशन है कि एल मस्ट बी पॉजिटिव, राइट? सो दिस विल वायलेट दिस कंडीशन, दैट्स व्हाई दिस रेंज ऑफ इंटीग्रेशन मस्ट बी इंडिपेंडेंट ऑफ थीटा. दिस assumption means assumption number 4, this assumption is to make the differentiation under the integral sign valid. So we can also say that in order to make this differentiation under the this integral sign valid, theta must be, range of integration must be independent of theta. Other way we can say that if this range of integration depend on theta, density function will vanish, because likelihood function depend on density function, so L will become 0, so this will violate this condition, but L is a positive quantity. So these are the 4 assumptions of maximum likelihood estimators. So what we have learned up to here, we learn how to write likelihood function, then how to find theta cap is actually solution of this question, right? Either this question, this is question number 1, either this question or third question, whether it depend on whether theta is a simple or theta is a vector value, right? So L, theta cap, solution later on. These are the assumptions: first order, second order derivative, third order derivative, expected value of this one, and further range of this integration must be independent of theta. Alright, so now let's take some example. This is the first example. on maximum likelihood estimator. In a random sampling from a normal population, this one, find the maximum likelihood estimator for mu when sigma square is known, sigma square when mu is known, and the simultaneous equation for mu and sigma square. Right? Solution. Since the likelihood function is, इसको हम इस तरह से डिफाइन करते हैं, एल इज प्रोडक्ट ऑफ एफ ऑफ एक्स आई थीटा and theta I in this case is varying from 1 to n. Since we know for normal distribution, we know this one, normal distribution density function f of this x is equal to this one, this is equal to 1 upon sigma times square root of 2 pi e raised to power minus x minus mu whole square divided by 2 sigma square. So this is density function for a normal distribution. Substitute this value here. So what will we get? We will get 1 upon sigma times square root of 2 pi. This will be e raised to power minus, this will be xi, because there are, this is a random sample of size n, xi minus mu whole square divided by 2 sigma square, and I in this case is varying from 1 to n. So actually in this product there are n terms. If you open this product, this factor will come how many time? N time. Its power is 1, so adding 1 power n time, so what will we get? Sigma square root of 2 pi, adding 1 n time, so we will get n, and this further, this is e raised to power minus, this will be summation xi minus mu whole square divided by 2 sigma square, and in this summation I is varying from 1 to n. This is L. Now taking log of both side, this implies log of L. Now we will use these kinds of result. Log m raised to power n, this is n log m, log m into n, this is log m plus log n. Next is log m upon n, this will be log m minus log n, right? So using this result in this product, this will be log of 1 upon sigma square root of 2 pi raised to power n plus log of e raised to power minus summation xi minus mu whole square divided by 2 sigma square. In this summation I is varying from 1 to n. So using this formula, so we will get, this will be n, and using simultaneously this formula here, so we will get log 1 minus log sigma square root of 2 pi bracket close, log and e cancel because log and e, these are reciprocal of each other, right? So this will be minus 1 upon 2 sigma square summation xi minus mu whole square, right? And in this summation I is varying from 1 to n. This further log 1 is 0, this will be minus n, and using, and this further can be written as a log sigma square 2 pi raised to power 1 by 2. This factor can be written in this way. If you simplify this one, multiplying this power separately, we will get this one, right? Minus 1 upon 2 sigma square summation xi minus mu whole square. In this summation I is varying from 1 to n. This further in this formula using this one, so this will be minus n by 2. Again using this formula here, so what we will get log 2 pi plus log sigma square, right, minus 1 upon 2 sigma square summation xi minus mu whole square. In this summation I is varying from 1 to n, right? So this is log L. Let us put this to be equation number 1. Now come to a part. So what is a part? When sigma square is known, when sigma square is known, the likelihood equation, for estimating mu, mu is, this is likelihood equation, partial derivative of log L with respect to theta must be equal to 0, because there is not written the mu population parameter mu is a vector value. This is simple, so we will use this likelihood equation, equation number 1. So using the in place of theta we have mu, so this will be partial derivative of log L with respect to mu is equal to 0. So differentiating this equation partially with respect to mu, so sigma square is constant, so what will we will get in this term, there is no mu, so this is 0 minus 1 upon 2 sigma square is constant. First of all, derivative of power means 2 times xi minus mu, then inside the power means derivative of this one, it will be 0, this will be minus 1, because we are differentiating partially with respect to mu which is equal to 0, right? Since of equation 1, using this equation is further minus minus plus 2 cancel, this is 1 upon sigma square, 1 upon sigma square summation xi minus mu is equal to 0. Now sigma square is not equal to 0, sigma square is a positive quantity, so this implies summation xi minus mu must be equal to 0. That is, we can also write it as summation xi is equal to summation mu. In this summation I is varying from 1 to n, in this summation I is varying from 1 to n. That is, if you add mu, we are adding mu n time, so this will be n time mu this is as it is summation xi, so that is from here mu is summation xi divided by n and summation xi upon n is x bar, this is sample mean. So therefore maximum likelihood estimator for mu is given as, इसको हम कैसे देंगे, फिर जो भी इसका सॉल्यूशन होगा उसको हम कैप से डिनोट करेंगे, राइट? तो दिस विल बी म्यू कैप एंड विच इज इक्वल टू एक्स बार, एंड एक्स बार क्या चीज है, विच इज सैंपल मीन, विच इज सैंपल mean. So if sigma square is known, on solving a likelihood equation, this one we will get maximum likelihood estimator for mu, that is mu cap, which is equal to sample mean, right? Now come to the B part, when mu is known. This is B part, when mu is known, the likelihood equation for estimating sigma square is, तो likelihood equation बन जाएगी हमारे पास, this time this is partial derivative of log L with respect to sigma square, which will be equal to 0. Now we will differentiate equation 1 with respect to sigma square. This time mu will be constant, x is already constant, so from equation what we will get, minus n upon 2 sigma square minus summation xi minus mu whole square divided by 2, this is 2 into derivative of this, this whole term is constant. Next is derivative of we know derivative of 1 upon x is minus x raised to power minus 2, it means derivative of 1 upon sigma square, this will be minus sigma square raised to power minus 2 in this way, right? So this will be into minus sigma square raised to power minus 2, because this factor is constant, equal to 0. On simplifying this equation, what will we get, minus n upon 2 sigma square minus minus plus, so this is 1 upon 2 sigma raised to power 4, making this power positive, and as this summation xi minus mu whole square is equal to 0. Now multiply both sides by, मल्टीप्लाई कर देते हैं 2 सिग्मा स्क्वायर से, 2 सिग्मा स्क्वायर से, राइट, minus 2 sigma square से, minus 2 sigma square means this will be n, this will be 2 to cancel, 1 upon sigma square, 1 upon sigma square, rest is summation xi minus mu whole square is equal to 0. So from this equation, on simplifying this sigma square, from here we are getting summation xi minus mu whole square divided by n, and in this summation I is varying from 1 to n. If you remember this formula, this is directly up, this is sample variance, this is s square by definition of sample variance, right? Therefore maximum likelihood, this we are getting from sense of equation 1. We are differentiating equation 1 partially with respect to sigma square, so x is constant and mu is also constant, right? Maximum likelihood of sigma square is given as, तो इसको हम डिनोट करेंगे सिग्मा स्क्वायर कैप, बिकॉज सॉल्यूशन इज दिस टाइम सिग्मा स्क्वायर, एंड विच विल इक्वल टू एस स्क्वायर, एंड एस स्क्वायर क्या चीज है, विच इज सैंपल वेरिएंस, which is sample variance. So when mu is known, the likelihood equation for estimating sigma square is a sigma square cap is equal to s square, and which is a sample variance, right? So from this numerical, I'm going to draw some important conclusions. Note number 1, as you see, as expected value, sorry, there is one more part, C part. So what is C part? C part is the likelihood equations for simultaneous estimation of mu and sigma square is, अगर हमने साइमल्टेनियसली निकालें तो होगा फर्स्ट पार्शियल डेरिवेटिव ऑफ log L विद रिस्पेक्ट टू म्यू इज इक्वल टू 0, एंड सेकंड बनेगा पार्शियल डेरिवेटिव ऑफ log L with respect to sigma square is equal to 0, and this equation on solving we get mu cap is equal to x bar sample mean, and this equation on solving we get sigma square cap is equal to s square, which is equal to sample variance. So solution of the simultaneous likelihood equation will be these two that we have just evaluated in part A and part B. Now come to the important conclusion that I'm going to draw from these result from the numerical one. First is as expected value of mu cap, because mu cap is x bar which is equal to mu, we know expected sample mean is the mean of the population, right? This is mean of the population. Also limit when n approach to infinity of b theta t, means this is amount of i's is difference of these two, so this will be limit n approach to infinity expected value of mu cap minus mu, because expected value of mu cap is mu, so this will be equal to 0. This is limit n approach to infinity of 0, and which is equal to 0. So from this result, as we know, so expected value of this is mu, means mu cap will be biased, mu cap will be unbiased, and this is one of the condition of a consistent estimator. So we can say this implies maximum likelihood estimator, that is mu cap is unbiased from this condition, unbiased and consistent estimator of mu. From this condition we can draw the conclusion that this mu cap is a consistent estimator, and from this condition this is a unbiased estimator of mu. Further, note number 2, as expected value of sigma square, this is expected value sigma square cap, because sigma square cap is s square, expected value of s square, and as we know expected s square by definition is n minus 1 upon n into sigma square, so which is not equal to sigma square, right? This is one conclusion. Also, limit when n is very very large, n approach to infinity, of b theta t, this is limit n approach to infinity, mean difference of these two, expected value of sigma square cap minus this one, n minus 1 upon n into sigma square, because expected value of sigma cap square is equal to this one, so these two are equal, तो ये जीरो हो जाएगा. Limit n approach to infinity, which is 0 and which whole is 0. So what are the conclusion? That this implies maximum likelihood estimator, that is sigma square cap, is this time this is biased, because this is not equal to sigma square, is biased. What consistent estimator तो है as was mu cap, what consistent estimator of sigma square, right? So these two are the important conclusion from numerical 1, right? So let's take one more example, example number 2. This is example number 2. Prove that maximum likelihood estimator for the parameter alpha, this time parameter is alpha, for the population whose density function is already given, parameter is also given, and we have to show that maximum likelihood estimator for this is 2x. X is the sample values, and further we have to show that the estimator is biased. Prove for a random sample of unit size, because this is given unit size means n will be equal to 1. This is clear for me. The sample size is 1. Unit size, the likelihood equation, the likelihood function is, तो likelihood function हमारे पास क्या बन जाएगा, as usual this is the likelihood function L theta, this is product f of xi theta. In this case I is varying from 1 to n, means sample is of size n. Sample of size 1 means in this product there will be only one term, there is only one density function, so in place of theta we have alpha, so L alpha, which is f of x alpha, which is given there, which is equal to 2 upon alpha square alpha minus x, and where x varies from 0 and alpha. Let us put this to be equation number, sorry, less than alpha. Let us put this to be equation number 1. So this time in likelihood function there is only one density function, because n is equal to 1 in this case, right? Now likelihood equations gives likelihood equation, as usual likelihood equation is partial derivative of log L with respect to theta is equal to 0. Since in this case there is only one density function, so it means variable will be only one, so this time there will be ordinary differentiation, because a random sample is of size 1, ordinary differentiation. So instead of partial, this time this will be derivative of log L with respect to theta is equal to 0. We will solve this question now. Sorry, in place of alpha theta we have alpha. With respect to alpha, substitute the value of L, log value of L is 2 upon alpha square alpha minus x bracket close equal to 0. So using these results, log m raised to power n, log m upon n, log m into n, using these result as we had just used in numerical 1. So what we will get, derivative with respect to alpha, this will be log 2 minus 2 log alpha plus log alpha minus x bracket close equal to 0. Now differentiating it ordinary with respect to x. This is 0. 2 upon alpha 1 upon alpha minus x is equal to 0, and this question on simplifying we will get alpha is equal to 2x. That is maximum likelihood estimator for unknown पैरामीटर अल्फा इज, इसको हम डिनोट करेंगे अब अल्फा कैप से. इसकी वैल्यू क्या आ जाएगी, क्या आ रही है 2x. दिस इज व्हाट वी वांट टू प्रूव, विच इज प्रूव. नाउ फर्दर वी हैव टू शो दैट जो अभी हमने मैक्सिमम लाइक्लीहुड एस्टिमेटर निकाला है, वी हैव टू शो दैट दिस इज बाइज्ड, मींस वी हैव टू फाइंड इट्स एक्सपेक्टेड वैल्यू. फर्दर expected value of alpha cap, this is expected value of 2x. This will be because 2 is constant, so 2 times expected value of x, because of this linear property of expectation e of ax plus b. This is a times e of x plus b. A and b are constant, similarly 2 is a constant. Now x is clear, x lies between 0 and alpha. So since x is a continuous random variable, this is clear from the range, right? He take integral as well as a fractional value. So how we find in case of continuous random variable expected value? This is integration from minus infinity to infinity x into into density function f of x alpha, right? This is by definition of expectation for continuous random variable with respect to x, and because x in this is case varying from 0 to alpha, so this integration will be strictly to 0 to alpha only x, and this density function is given 2 upon alpha square alpha minus x, right, into dx since of equation 1. So what is constant here? 2 upon alpha square is constant, so outside will be 4 upon alpha square 0 to alpha, multiply x inside alpha x minus x square with respect to x is with respect to x, right? Now 4 upon integrating it, alpha is constant, alpha x square divided by 2 x cube divided by 3. Simple integration, limit is from 0 to alpha. Further 4 upon alpha square upper limit, replace x by alpha, so this will alpha cube divided by 2 alpha cube divided by 3. This is upper limit, and lower limit will be 0 because x is 0. 4 upon alpha square 3 alpha cube minus 2 alpha cube, this is alpha cube divided by 6. So what we are getting, this is 2 alpha upon 3, that is expected value of alpha cap is equal to 2 alpha upon 3, and which is not equal to alpha. अगर ये अल्फा की इक्वल आ जाती तो भी हमारे पास क्या बन जाता, अनवाइज. तो दैट मीन्स अब हम क्या बोल सकते हैं इसको, that is maximum likelihood estimator, that is alpha cap is a biased estimator for alpha, right? We know this result, Tn is a unbiased estimator. कब होता है? If unbiased estimator of gamma theta if expected value of Tn is equal to gamma theta. अगर इसकी एक्सपेक्टेड वैल्यू अल्फा की इक्वल आ जाती तभी अनवाइस हो जाता. सिंस इट्स वैल्यू इज नॉट इक्वल टू अल्फा, so maximum likelihood estimator, that is alpha cap, is biased. This is biased estimator for alpha. All right, so dear friends, what we have learned in this lecture, we come to know that what is likelihood function L, how we write it, right? And this is number one. Then we come to know that what is likelihood equation, how many types of likelihood equations are there. Likelihood equation, there are two types of likelihood equations. First is partial derivative of log L with respect to theta is equal to 0, and second equation is partial derivative of log L with respect to theta I, this is equal to 0, right? And this is the likelihood equation when theta unknown population parameter theta is a simple, and this is the likelihood equation when unknown population parameter theta is a vector valued, and solution of both of these equations is denoted by theta cap, चाहे वो ये इक्वेशन होगी चाहे ये इक्वेशन होगी, दोनों के सॉल्यूशन को हम थीटा कैप से डिनोट करेंगे, जो भी सॉल्यूशन आता है उसको हम थीटा कैप से डिनोट करते हैं, राइट? सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट this lecture. Thank you.